time for Grizz Beat, a full-court press of highlights, insights, and debate around the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Tune in each week on the latest conversations with regional and national insiders locked in on the Grizzlies. Running point from Grind City Media Studios, our host, Jason Smith.
Welcome to Grizz Beat. I'm your host, Jason Smith of 92.9 FM ESPN, and we've got another loaded show for you this week. I've got another sport coat on.
Yeah, man.
By the way, I hope you noticed. We've also got another Grizz preseason game to play this evening as the Grizzlies get set to host the Boston Celtics tonight in their second of 5 preseason games. More on tonight's game in just a bit. Before that, let me introduce our fantastic panel. To my left is Memphis Sports Hall of Famer and former WMC TV Channel 5 sports director Jarvis Greer. Jarvo, you told me last week to start dressing down, that I was a little too fancy.
Yes,
For the
I
first
did.
time in my media career, I did not take your advice, sir. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. You got the burgundy on there, looking, James Bondish there with the black shirt. I like it.
I very
like
much
it.
appreciate
You're running
that,
the show,
sir.
man.
I'm probably going to run out of coats here in a minute, so yeah, take it
You
easy
could
on
get
me.
the orange shirt, or not, the gold shirt.
The gold
as
shirt.
the commander of the Enterprise. You're sitting in the center seat, man. You got the big chair, so
Hopefully
warp factor 8.
Hopefully I'm doing it some justice. Next to Jarvo, we have the man that we refer to around here as the guru, Michael Wallace, senior editor, contributor, and analyst for Grind City Media. Michael, how's your health doing going into the season? Your ankles, knees, and toes all right? We can't afford to lose anybody else,
Hey, I'm good.
including you.
I'm day to day. I'm day to day, just like we
nice.
all
We
are. But what's not day to day is that jacket, man. What is that, velvet?
Oh, look at
Is
you,
that crushed
coming to
velvet?
America
That's
reference. This
Velvet
guy thinks
Jones,
he's
man.
funny.
Oh my goodness,
Velvet
man.
Jones, I hear you.
Stephanie, as you see, we've got a bunch of comedians here. We're extremely excited to have Stephanie Reddy joining us this week via Zoom. Stephanie's covered the NBA for 2 decades on air and on the sidelines and joins us as our national NBA contributor. Very excited to have her. Stephanie, are you ready to set these guys straight this week?
I was born ready.
Well, she got
That's
the
what we
name.
like to hear.
She was born ready, because that's the name.
So that's our panel for this week's show. We've got the great CJ Hurt there behind the glass on the ones and twos, keeping us all in order, and an extremely talented team behind folks behind the scenes, man, making this all look good, making us all look good. So I want to make sure we shout them out as well. Grateful to have them. So let's get it. We begin where we always will on Wednesdays with our starting 5, the top 5 storylines involving the Grizzlies as they get set to take on the Boston Celtics. Before we go over to Michael Wallace, we've got audio from shoot-around, Gigi Jackson and Javon Small. Let's take a listen.
Just a lot of reps. Just a lot of reps doing the little things, trying to gain some more trust from coach.
Gigi, how do you guys sort of build on? What are some of the things you got to build on from Monday night coming into tonight?
Just being able to stay consistent throughout the whole game. We came out on fire that first quarter, offensively and defensively. We're just figuring out a way to keep that up throughout the entire game. That second quarter kind of got us, and we don't want to have individual quarters be the reason why we can't crawl back into the game.
Definitely opportunity. Every time you step on the floor, it's an opportunity. No matter if it's 20 minutes or even 2 minutes. Anytime you step out the floor, you got to try to give it your all. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Are there nerves at all? I mean, it's the first NBA game. What keeps you so calm then in this situation?
It's just basketball. I've been doing it my whole life, so I'm just continue to do it.
The Grizz are 0-1 on the preseason after that loss to Detroit on Monday in the opener. They did, obviously, without 3 starters in that game, and Zach Edey, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Ja Morant. Tell us, the latest, you talked to Gigi, you talked to Javon Small, the latest from shoot-around heading into tonight's game against the Celtics.
Well, the good news is that Javon Small, that we just heard from, will be able to go tonight. He missed the first preseason game. He had a personal issue that he had to take care of. But he was at the practice this morning, and he was able to get some shots up. It was good to see that young unit of guys out there getting some work in. And as Gigi said, this is a team that has to not let a game completely slip away from them in the second quarter or any quarter. So they're trying to progressively get better towards a 48-minute game of basketball. Preseason game number 1, they showed a great first quarter, and then it just gradually slipped away from there. So finding that continuity, even as Coach Iisalo juggles these lineups without having his main guys available, that's going to be the task tonight. And you get back out there. 2 games in 3 nights. It's a quick turnaround. You watch the tape, you adjust, and you move forward. So I expect to see that point guard rotation have one more additional guy in Javon Small being a part of it.
Jarvis, what was your biggest takeaway? Michael mentioned it from the preseason loss to open the season against the Detroit Pistons?
I thought the new additions, I thought they all looked great. Ty Jerome, I thought he was very, very good in that role at the point guard spot. He can play the point. He shot the ball very well.
Yep.
Really good distributing. Looked very good. Looked smooth out there. Not like Jay Smooth now with the new burgundy jacket, but looked smooth out there. It looked like he knew what he was doing and running the club. And plus, I really like the fact he's an aggressive shooter. He's not a standalone, stand in the corner or stay on the wing and shoot a three. No, he's going to the ball. He's got a nice little one-hand floater, and I thought that his aggressiveness is something that'll really help the Grizzlies. Kenny, don't call me KCC Pope. We learned that KCP, the artist formerly known as KCP, doesn't really like that.
It's Kenny, right?
He wants to be called Kenny or Ken or something like that. So we'll call him what he wants to be called. Call the man what he wants to be called. I thought he was very solid in his debut.
Yep.
Looked good. It was 50% from the floor on his threes. Moved the ball well. Looked good on the wing. He's got the length and the size to get in. That starting unit, by the way, along with Jock Londale, who comes over, from as a free agent from Houston. I thought at offensive glass he looked good. I thought he did what he was supposed to do or what they brought him in to do. And I think I would give that group, they were like tied in scoring with the first group of the Pistons when they came in. So they both scored 50, those units scored 50 points apiece.
Yep,
the starters scored 50. So, I mean, I really like that because Detroit was coming in basically, minus Jalen Duren, the former Tiger star, was basically coming in with their complete squad, which included, an all-star and Cade Cunningham and the rest of those guys. So I really like what the starters look like. The rest of them, we'll get to that in a little bit.
We're going to get to it in a little bit, and I'm with you on Ty Jerome, KCP, combined for 31 points. Look like the vets that you thought you had added when you did them. Stephanie, we heard from these gentlemen last week on sort of where they think the Grizz will stack up this season in the West. You straighten us out. Where does Memphis fit in the pecking order in the West?
I just love your confidence in me. I would say that they're going to be top half. And the reason why I'm a little vague is because when you look at how the playoffs are set up, I think making top 6 in the West is going to be very ambitious for this team. I mean, we're going to get into this as the show goes on. Health is going to be a serious issue with this Grizzlies team. Availability is going to be the most important ability for this roster as they get into the season and hopefully make a run into the playoffs. But when you look at the West, they're deep and teams actually got bigger. I mean, you can rattle off 6-7 names off the top of your head that you expect will be in the playoffs. I mean, you talk about OKC, obviously that's an in, right? Houston, Lakers, Denver, and then Dallas is improved now because Kyrie is back, and of course they have Cooper Flag. You talk about Golden State being improved with being healthy and also adding pieces. So the West, as always, is going to be very stiff competition. I think the Grizzlies, if they can get healthy early and get together all on the same page, everybody buying in, they do stand a chance of making in that play-in window, right? The 7, 8, 9 area. And we'll see. I mean, I hate to make predictions this early, especially when you have bodies that are out, but I do think top half is very, very achievable. Top 6, I think, is ambitious.
Hopefully, to accomplish that in top half, you can get Ja and Jaren back early, like you mentioned, Stephanie. Obviously, having them for the October 22nd opener is the most important thing. But ideally, you'd like to have those guys on the floor at some point this preseason, especially Ja, just so the new guys can get accustomed to playing his speed. Obviously, speed has been a theme for the Grizzlies this season. So my question for each of you now, as we hit question number 4 of our starting 5, how much does not having those two on the floor, at least so far this preseason, affect the Grizzlies' preparation? Stephanie, we'll start with you.
It's hugely impactful. I mean, you're talking about 2 players that are among the best in the entire league, let alone on your roster. And as you just alluded to, Ja has a very specific style of play. And you can watch him play on TV all you want, but until you're side by side running the lanes with him, that speed is something you have to get used to. His ability to facilitate and find you when you think you might not even be open yet is something you have to get used to. So having those 2 on the floor is hugely important. And we haven't even talked about the fact that this is the first training camp for Coach Iisalo. He's going to want to put in his system, use his terminology, run things the way he likes to run it. And if you have your 2 stars, and let's not sleep on the defense. We talk a lot about offense, but both of them are very impactful on the defensive side as well, especially Jaren. I mean, you talk about rim protection, rebounding. Those are 2 huge deficits that they will have if Tripp is not in the lineup for the Grizzlies to start things off.
Michael, how much of a setback is it if you don't have either one of them in the preseason?
I think it's going to be huge because, the fact of the matter is it puts more pressure on you and how you need to start the regular season.
No doubt.
You can't back your way into the regular season in the Western Conference. You can't get 5, 6, 7 games behind in those standings and expect to go on a run late in the season. Now, a lot of things can happen, but not only to Stephanie's point, Iisalo establishing his system, he can't establish a system without 5 of the marquee guys or 4 or 3, how many ever it is. But Jaren and Ja specifically mean so much as the triggers on the offense and the defense. It's going to be key to get off to a hell of a start in the regular season if they're not going to be participants in the preseason.
Jarvis, does it feel maybe even a little bit more important for Ja, just for guys like Cedric Coward, right, that haven't played at that Ja speed in games against competition? Certainly feels like that's impactful if you don't have him.
Exactly. It's a two-way street, both for Cedric Coward and the other players and for Ja. Ja needs to know where these guys want the ball. He needs to be on the court knowing where, okay, I'm doing this. When I go, man, you hit that spot, I'm going to hit you. I remember back when the Grizzlies were, the young Grizzlies just getting here to Memphis, and they would play the San Antonio Spurs, and the Spurs would be down 10 going in the fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden, boom, here goes the passes here, and it's like
flip the switch.
They're not even looking where the ball's going, but they know where everybody is. They got to have that continuity. And as Stephanie said, you got to have that defense on the string. You got to know where Jaren's going to be patrolling that back line back there to make sure he can get there to block shots or be in the right position for things like that. And it's just, you have to have that kind of thing. Right now, when we go into the season, it's going to be a learning on the fly for Memphis once they get into the regular season. Not just for the players, but as you said, also for Coach Iisalo, because they're still going to be learning on the fly how everybody fits together when the season starts.
To wrap up our starting 5, with Ja currently out of the lineup, something we hope is obviously just precautionary, and this team facing serious question marks. We've touched on it last week, that front court health. Right now, no Jaren, no Zach Edey, and Brandon Clark. Our final question, Michael, should the front office at this point consider making a roster move at whatever position you think to address these injuries?
I think you have to at this point because, again, that urgency has to be there from the beginning for the Grizzlies this season. You have a history of both injuries and right now you have a lack of depth. What you're rolling out there right now in the preseason, and it's just the preseason, but what you're rolling out there in the preseason right now in your front court will not suffice. It will not suffice. So you have to be able to say, okay, let's go out there and see if we can pick up a veteran front court player to sort of stabilize what we're doing, and then we can make some adjustments from that standpoint. The Grizzlies don't have a roster spot available. They're very limited in terms of what they want to do money-wise, but they do have some tradable assets if they need to go ahead in. I don't think they need to hesitate.
Stephanie, do you think the Grizzlies have enough, particularly in that front court with as banged up as they are? Should they make a move?
Well, that's two different questions. I don't think they have enough, but I do not think they should look at making a roster move this early. I think, as we've talked about already, health is a concern, but we haven't gotten those guys back yet. So you can't make a decision, in my opinion, about what sorts of things you need because you don't have your mainstays in position. They did make some additions. We've talked about it already in this show. Some of the new players that they've picked up, they expect to be contributors right away. So you need to get your veterans, your stars, and your others, as people like to call them, your other contributors that might be coming off the bench or fourth or fifth man. They need to be in place. I don't think that you should pull the trigger yet. I think it's too soon. I think you don't know what you have. And furthermore, Michael, you brought this up. They don't really have a lot of leeway. They don't have a lot of space. And if you're going to trade someone, it has to be an asset that someone else is interested in. And that might be one of those pieces that you're still trying to figure out if it works yet. So I feel like, no, they should not.
All right, so we've got dissenting opinions. Jarvis, which side are you on?
Well, I'm saying absolutely. That is the job of a GM, is to have that Rolodex ready. I'm old school. I say Rolodex now. I don't know what you would call the term in this day and age.
Contacts.
Contacts. Yeah, you got to have everything ready. You got to have your list up on your iPad or whatever it is. You punch a button and then 50 names come up. You have to be prepared for any eventuality because you have no idea what could happen. You have no idea who might be available. As Steph Stephanie said. You know, there's a lot of guys out there. Some are movable, some are not. You got to know who they are and where they are, and if they're gettable. And then, yeah, you'll see as the season goes along. But you always have to be ready at the drop of a hat to be ready to make a move if there's a move to be made that you think will help the club, no matter when it is. And I think that this club, you know, as he has professed, we weren't where we wanted to be last year. The way the club was, they made the big move with Bain. He's not afraid to pull that trigger. Yep. So you can't be afraid to pull another one if you have to. And I'm saying if you have to.
Well, that's the big question, though. The if is you know, we're talking about right now, right? So as the question was phrased, you know, should they consider it now? And I'm saying the urgency is there now.
Yeah.
Like you pull together a full coaching staff that's brand new.
Right.
You sign, you know, these guys and you're here, but yet you're going into the season injured. Mm-hmm. Right. And you know that two of your main guys may not start the season. One of them definitely won't. The other one may not. What are you like at a certain point, how desperate do you need to get before you fall too far behind?
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying you pull it now. I'm saying
you pull it now if you have to.
Yeah, that's what if you have to. I'm saying you go into every season, you got to have your finger, you know, you're ready to flip that shit and push the red button if you have to, because you don't know what's going to happen. You have to be ready even if everything looks great, you have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're saying on an
I
if
would
and a
agree with that.
contingency.
Yes.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
I would agree with that. I mean, I think that's the job of the general manager anyway, right? All season long to be sure of the things that you like and the things you don't like and what you could change. And I think they're always talking to each other. I think they're looking at pieces that other teams might be looking to discard. I think that's part of the job description. I just don't think it's something they should be seriously considering right now.
You know, maybe even playing to this decision. You know, you face a Boston team that's got a weakened front court. That front court's been gutted out, and so after getting dominated inside against the Pistons, you know, if we see tonight that it looks a little bit better, maybe you're a little bit more dominant. Maybe I'm leaning more towards Stephanie in that case. But I'm right now, Michael, I'm with you. I didn't like what I saw against the Pistons. I think maybe you've got to react now. We'll move on right now. Clearly, there's more. We'll see what develops with that situation. Now on to our best dunk, dime, and defensive play, where each week we will have our panel vote on a bunch of the top Grizz-themed highlights this week in honor of tonight's game against the Celtics. Love the way that we've matched this up. We've got the two best dunks of Ja Morant's career up against each other. Last year's NBA Dunk of the Year versus the Celtics versus Ja's all-time favorite versus the Spurs. Let's take a look.
Steps back. Morant. Ball fake. For the Grizzlies, a lot of late game situations. Ja in the late game situation.
All right, we'll go around the horn. Jarvis, you can start us out. I think this one's obvious. Jarvis, what do you think?
I think it's the Celtics dunk because it counted. Wow. I really like the one against Wemby. People are saying because they heard the tweet that he wasn't going to try to block it. Yes, he was, because you never know. It could be a NBA continuation. But that double clutch reverse dunk over who was that?
Derek White and the Celtics and Porzingis.
Yeah, it's over Porzingis, who's 7'2". And then, you know, Wemby's, I think they gave him another couple inches. He's 7'5" now. Yeah, that's great. But this one counted, the one against the Celtics. And I'm going to sign off on that. That's the only reason.
Is he right, Stephanie?
Yes, he's right. I mean, look what he's doing. He's doing a dunk contest style dunk in an actual game. He turns around, double clutches it. I mean, that's an unbelievable dunk. And he did it in game, real time, and it counted. Definitely saw the Celtics game for sure for me.
Michael, this looks like this segment where you disagree with everybody. This is 2 straight weeks.
Wrong. Both of them are wrong in this situation. I'm going to go with the one over Wemby. I was sitting in the stands right behind that from our radio broadcast, and everybody in the building was like, the whistle blew 2 seconds before he took off. And we were like, he's not going to complete this. And then, oh, my God, he completed it and went straight over Victor Wembanyama, like outstretched. It was straight up mano a mano. And all I need to know is that CJ right here, when he saw that one, he backed up.
I agree.
You saw that.
100%.
Backed up.
Well, I like this. Look at the bottom of your screen right there. One of the Spurs was, oh, my, did he just do that? Yeah, that's really good. I like that.
Don't come back, Jarvis. Don't come back.
But unfortunately, it didn't count. If it had counted, Yes.
You know why I
it
count
won't go down in the record book.
You know
though,
why I count it?
unfortunately.
Because that clip still exists.
Absolutely.
And it's
Okay.
on a
We're gonna
loop,
look at it
and it
forever.
went viral.
Oh yeah.
He's
And
also
he cocked
got-
it behind
he's
his
also
head.
got
That
one,
double clutch, buddy. I love that man.
He's also got one in the past over
And it
Jakob
was at-
Poeltl that I remember was a tremendous one as well. All right, we got to move on, guys.
do we have to?
We'll move
Oh.
on now to Ja's best
like to see
dime. You know
more
he
of
can
that.
do this too. Let's
yeah,
see
you
it.
can. Let's see.
Morant trying to feed it. Ball to the floor. Ja from the seat of his pants. Lob for Aldama. Morant going behind the back, down the lane. Leaves it for Clark, who scores.
All right, panel. What do you think? Which one's the
one?
best?
I'll go first. It's number one because that's how often do you see a guy on the seat of his pants faking out 3 different players and then throwing to Santi Aldama for a reverse dunk? How often, how many people can do that? First of all, Ja Morant, end of story. And then to have the vision, the eyes, and he did it at home in front of the home fans who were still jumping up and down from it. We were in the stands, my wife and I, just clowning everybody off of that play. It was great.
Stephanie, what do you think?
I agree again. I mean, it's because these are things that you imagine and you're playing around with your friends and you imagine you can make this play, but nobody thinks they can actually make the play. He's sitting down, first of all. He has 3 defenders surrounding him. He has the athleticism and the quickness to actually pump fake while he's sitting down, and they buy it, and then a lob pass for a dunk. I mean, I don't think you can write a better script than that. That's an unbelievable assist.
Michael, you with these peas in a pod?
Unfortunately, yes.
This time you are. He's finally agreeing,
I'm
Stephanie,
agreeing
with the rest of
them.
the group.
As much as
He's
I want to go
finally
with as much as I want to go with the Indiana Pacers because my guy BC finished it off, and shout out to BC. Hopefully he gets back a speedy recovery from his knee procedure. It's great to see BC and Ja working together. But you're right, just to being on the floor. Everyone else knows you have the ball, and you still see 3 guys around you, and you find an open lane with a beautiful dime to Santi Aldama, who had a little flair on the finish himself with the reverse jam.
That's the
one.
pump fake. It's the pump fake that gets off all 3 guys going
3
in the
guys
wrong
guarding
direction.
him while
And
he's on the floor.
Stephanie said the athleticism. It takes strength to throw a pass like that from your butt.
And put it
And
perfectly.
He did it.
Put it
Put
perfectly.
it right
Now,
in
you guys
perfect
are all right on this one. Couldn't agree more. Finally, we've got Ja's best defensive play. Let's take a look at the 2, and you guys take a vote.
Grizzlies. Kuminga backs down. Finds Green. Yes! Blocked it!
Late pass. There as he did to Huff. And comes
Oh,
up
the
with
steal. Took it away from Murray. Yes. And the foul.
Jarbo, you're at the top. You start us off. Which one's right?
Is that Draymond down there that gets blocked? Anytime you can block Draymond, that's sure enough. That's game over. Taking it. Hey, Draymond thinking, I got an easy layup. Boom! Ha! Ja got it from the behind. I love that. And then the fans ate that up at FedEx Forum. And the other block, the other steal there. Is that Halliburton? Is that Hallie took that from? The other steal? That's a good steal, but Ja's done that before. I think against New Orleans a couple of years ago, he faked on an inbounds pass, looked one way, went the other, stole it, and went in for a dunk.
Yeah.
This one, though, blocking Draymond from behind when Draymond thought he had Dreamland in front of him. No, Dream denied by Ja Morant.
It's like it's DeJounte Murray that Ja took the ball
is that
from.
DeJounte?
Stephanie, is it the first or second? Is Jarvis right?
No, not this time. It's the second play. Both great defensive plays for sure. But when you watch that steal, Ja does like a fake little lunge to make the basketball go around him, right? Like that is a regular offensive play that all point guards can make. You go around the defender, you're changing your direction, but Ja was able to anticipate where the ball would end up on the other side of him, gets the steal, and he gets the finish. So I love when defense translates to easy offense, so that's definitely my vote.
Great help side defense right there on the backside. Draymond never saw him coming, though. That was a fantastic block. However, Stephanie is absolutely right because of the anticipation. He beat DeJounte Murray to the ball when DeJounte was the one who knew where he wanted to go. So just that anticipation and the ability to be able to finish with the and one is remarkable. That tells me, and I've had this conversation with Ja before, he knows he could be a much better defender than he's shown the ability to be because of that same timing and quickness, and that's one of the things he wants to commit to more of.
The only reason I didn't go with that was because he's done it before. He did it to New Orleans. New Orleans thought they had a free inbounds. He looked the guy off, jumped in the passing lane, got the steal, and then went off for a dunk. And this one here against Draymond, nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming. And it was Draymond.
I think you're going to have to take the L on this one, Jarbo.
Yeah, Jar.
I think
Jar.
Stephanie and
he's blocked shots before,
and Michael have got it right on this one.
He's done chase down blocks before.
First time
it's
ever.
all good. We've been there,
Well,
Jarvis.
he's also done that before.
We've been there. We've been there.
Okay. All right.
Listen, we got a little live show here today, don't we? I love it.
We're gonna meet.
Let's make
Fourth
sure
and Beal
outside. Let's make sure it continues. Coming up after the break, no fighting though, no touching. We'll gauge the confidence level of our panelists on whether the Grizzlies and Ja Morant can get a contract extension done this month with the deadline approaching. Also, Michael Wallace got another one-on-one interview this week you won't want to miss. Keep it locked. This is Grizz Beat on Grind City Media.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Let's go, Grizz! Let's go!
Oh, Ja Morant just broke the rim with that finish.
Defense, take that ball! Defense, take that ball!
Jared with a rejection.
Give me that!
Morant digs at it, knocks it away. Picked up by Pippen. Lob, Brandon Clark.
Ooh, on that rim!
Jaren Jackson has a message for y'all. Jaren, say it now.
What?
It's the best show in the world.
Yeah, Trip. When I showed up at the event last night, he goes, "You got the biggest show in the world." And I said, "No, I really don't." And he goes, "To me, you do. I see you every day." I asked him why he doesn't just walk up here, and he's like, "Because I don't want you to be able to prepare." I was like,
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
The Grizzlies tip off their 25th season in Memphis Wednesday, October 22nd at 7 p.m. against the New Orleans Pelicans, presented by Pinnacle Financial Partners. Arrive early, as the first 5,000 fans in attendance will receive a Grizzlies 25th anniversary t-shirt designed by Good Hippie. To purchase your tickets, go to grizzlies.com/tickets today. That's grizzlies.com/tickets. All right, now it's time to put the confidence meter on our panelists. It's our weekly heat check on 3 key topics, starting this week with our panelists' confidence level and whether the Grizzlies can get Ja Morant signed to a contract extension, get that done before the October 20 deadline. Stephanie, what's your confidence level that the Grizzlies can get a contract extension done with Ja this month?
I think when you look at the circumstances surrounding Ja Morant and his agency, that may have given us a clue. You're trying to read the tea leaves, of course, and I don't have any inside information, but just looking at the facts, I mean, he parted ways with his sports agent. That was in June, right? Knowing that this deadline was approaching in October, he's now signed with a new agency, which is non-traditional, but still will be advising him with this contract. That was just in September. And so I feel like if they weren't confident they could make a deal work with the Grizzlies, they may not have wanted to launch a new business endeavor and have Ja Morant be their first client. And by they, I mean his family that started that firm. So that's kind of my clue. I think that they feel very confident they will get a deal done by the deadline.
Michael, what do you think?
I think there's a remarkable reason why we have Stephanie Ready on the show, right?
Yes.
I'm
100%.
very confident too. Like her confidence allowed me to be very confident in it because she articulated it absolutely perfectly from that standpoint. And I think the timing of it says everything. And I think as you get closer to it, there's no reason for that deal not to get done. It's not like, Ja Morant's number in the NBA is what it is. Mm-hmm. I think the agency stuff is going to help him more with the off the court and the endorsements and all of those kind of things. But in terms of NBA and the collective bargaining agreement, that number is where it is. But it gives his new group a check and a victory early in the season and early in this relationship. So I'm very confident.
Jarvis, you confident this gets done too this month?
Swing that meter. Very confident for Jarvo. That's what I say. Why do I say that? I say that because, well, one of his employees is a former Grizzlies employee, so they all know all the inner workings of everything. But I'm going on the visceral side. He's got the tats to show that he loves Memphis. His peeps are in Memphis. He gets out to see them. They love him. And you know the old saying, you love Memphis, it'll love you back. Yep. He has recognized that wherever he's gone. He always represents, my fingers are broken from football.
Be careful, man. Arthritis. Arthritis, you might not get them back.
Oh, no, oh man, I tell it to my back of my leg, yeah. But no, I think that because he started here, you know, and everybody, you know, he went through all of his trials and tribulations there earlier in his career. People still back him here, say, Ja, you are one of us. And I think that's the main reason that he will definitely sign that dotted line. And I think they're going to give him, you know, basically what he wants. And I think everybody will be happy with whatever it is that the contract is whenever they decide on one. But I think he'll get it done before or at the deadline.
I'll tell you what, it seems like Stephanie's already on the pulse of the Memphis Grizzlies here, leading us there. All seem to be very confident that this can get done. Though we haven't seen Jaren Jackson Jr. yet this preseason. He did look good from all accounts in Saturday's open practice over at FedEx Forum. Stephanie, what's your confidence level? This seems big that Jaren's going to be available for the season opener on October 22nd.
This one I'm very confident with. I do think that he understands the importance of starting this season. He knows new head coach. He knows injuries have really troubled this roster. If Ja Morant can also be back for opening night, then it's a double whammy. And it's, as we've already discussed in the show, hugely impactful that they both be there. If Ja Morant is not available on the season opener, I think Jaren understands the importance of having at least one of the stars to start this season off right. They've got to set this culture. They have to establish their style of play. They have to establish what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, and he understands his importance, his role in that.
Jarvis, you on the same boat? Remember we had Sane predicting last week that he would play in the preseason. We haven't seen that yet. You think he'll be there for the opener?
I'm going to swing again. Boop, boop, boop. Very confident. Why do I say that? Well, I think the way he moved in the open practice is everybody got a chance to see him. Even the fans got a chance to see him. He didn't just walk out when he was introduced. He did. It wasn't a dead run, but it was a jog out there like, you know, nothing is his problem. I had a turf toe, and I know that sucker hurts. I'm glad he got it taken care of. So now you don't have to worry, or you shouldn't have to worry about that pain going forward. And I think several, you know, intrepid reporters, including our own Michael Wallace, got to see through the window in Nastyville when they were up there at practice. When he was going through drills there, he looked like, they say the ramp up was heavy, and he was doing all kind of basketball activity. I think, yeah, we'll see him in the preseason.
Well, I'm not sure if you picked that up, Stephanie. Jarvis just called Nashville Nastyville. That's the tension between Memphis and Nashville. I wanted to explain that just in case you were lost there. Finally, a lot of folks have, no problem at all. Finally, a lot of folks
You're going to learn some terms here.
We're going to learn some terms. Well, she's a quick learner, clearly. She's all over this. We've obviously got the Celtics in town tonight, and with them in town, thought it's a great time to ask this. Seems like a lot of people have written the Celtics off already, with Jason Tatum obviously coming back from the ruptured Achilles. Stephanie, are the Celtics and Jaylen Brown going to be a top 6 team in the East this year and avoid the play-in? What's your confidence level?
I'm not confident at all. I really am not. There's so many things, so many layers to this. You mentioned Tatum. We don't even know when he's coming back. That's the first thing, right? Then you talk about the people that have departed this team. And we're not talking about guys at the end of the bench. We're talking about starters, impactful people, two-way players like Holiday. Holiday is the type of player that every single player in the NBA wants to be his teammate because he's a consummate professional. He can score on offense. He facilitates. He's unselfish. He's a shutdown defender. He checks all the boxes, high character person. So now you lose him. You lose Porzingis, who, even though he was not playing a lot at the end, everyone knows if he's healthy, he's the unicorn player. And then, of course, Horford. He's your veteran. He's your big that steps out and shoots threes at a very high clip. Those are big pieces that you're missing. Not to mention the fact that a lot of teams in the East got better because they got healthy. I mean, you're looking at New York added pieces. Cleveland's supposed to be good. Detroit's going to be good. Orlando, Indiana. I mean, you can name 6 until you get to Boston. So I don't even know. 7 might not be right for Boston, but I definitely do not think top 6.
Michael, what's your confidence level they can be top 6?
Not confident, but I do think they were right on that line. And Jason, you brought this question to the forefront here because that's pretty much where they're pegged, right? Yep. Can they get the 6 and avoid the play-in? I think they get down to maybe 7 because to Stephanie's point, I got the Knicks, Cavs, Orlando, Detroit clearly as the top 4, and then I got the Hawks, the Bucks, the Heat right after that, and I'm sure I'm missing someone, right? So then you're talking about teams like Boston, but if Jason Tatum, which we believe is not going to be able to play this season, I'm not going to count out Jaylen Brown and what those got. Derek White, Jaylen Brown, and this tough Boston – Pritchard was the 6th man of the year. They have enough to be a fightful type team. They can be feisty. They can still defend. They're going to be right there on the cusp, but I'm not confident they're going to guarantee to be a top 6.
It's going to be close. Jarvis, you got a confidence level that they'll creep into that top 6?
Confident. I think they will because they are the Boston Celtics. They'll get every call. They're in a big market. They love them on television. They want them to be there at the end. But I think Michael was looking off my notes, rattling off the names of everybody out there. They still have talent on there. They lost a lot of talent, but they still have talent. You know, with Jaylen Brown. You know, Jaylen Brown still feels like he's something to prove and he wants to be the man. Well, he'll get to be the man now with the big guy out for whoever knows how long. And Derek White is just a tough dude. You know, he's kind of like the guy from Oklahoma City that bothers everybody and makes plays when you don't expect and also can hit shots. And, Porzingis missed a lot of the first part of the season and he missed the end of the season, but they still got a high seed. So I don't think his loss is all that big a deal. Yeah, they got some losses, but in giving kudos to you, Mike, you said they were on the bottom side of that. I say they're just barely on the confidence side, getting in at the number 6 spot.
Oh, excellent confidence meter. We mentioned earlier, too, that Michael Wallace got a chance to sit down for a one-on-one interview. It's another reason why you want to tune in every Wednesday at 3 to Grizz Beat. This week, it's Scottie Pippen Jr. Let's take a listen.
It's game night for the Memphis Grizzlies, game 2 of the preseason here at FedEx Forum against the Boston Celtics. I'm here with Scottie Pippen Jr. Scottie, when you guys look at some of the things that you can build off of from Monday night's game against – in the preseason opener, what do you guys have to do in terms of prioritizing? What are the next steps?
I'll say it's continue to build on what we've been learning, with the new coaching staff. Trying to clean some stuff up. For like last game, it got a little bit sloppiness, but like I said, it's preseason, so that's kind of bound to happen. But it's kind of cleaning it all up and just touching it all up for the season.
You guys talked about how tough training camp was and how, you guys pushed each other. The competition level was right there. Is it a little bit different once you get to a game and then you see the structure? Does that take an adjustment in and of itself?
Yeah, I think it's an adjustment just because you see a little bit of different defenses. You see new offenses, so you're not just guarding your teammates. You're not guarding the sets that you run on offense. But I think we adjusted pretty well. I feel like we're one of the most in-shape teams, so you're kind of seeing that.
Now, in game 1 of the preseason, you were instructed with guiding that second unit, so to speak. If that's the case again tonight, what do you have to do to sort of get that unit going again? In the second half, there was some slippage there and some turnover issues. How do you guys sort of correct that?
Like I said, just playing fast but playing smart. We can't let other teams speed us up and kind of playing at our own pace. I feel like last game we had some unforced turnovers, just us being sloppy with the ball, but I think we'll clean it up tonight.
You guys clean it up tonight and get back on track as well. 3 games in 4 days in the preseason. Is that a good thing? You feel like that's a good sort of test of the tempo and what the season is going to be like, or does it seem like everything is coming at once?
I think it's a little bit. I think it's a good test. During the season, you can't really control your schedule. You play a lot of games, different cities and stuff like that. So luckily, we're home for most of these games. So I think it'll be good for us.
All right. For Scottie Pippen, I'm Michael Wallace. Keep it locked on all of our coverage. Now back to Grizz Beat.
Fantastic stuff there from Scottie Pippen Jr. I'm really curious how his role is going to evolve this season. Now a look at the rest of the Grizzlies' preseason schedule leading into their October 22nd season and home opener against New Orleans. Tonight, they've got the Celtics. Obviously, we've talked about that. In a couple of days, they'll welcome the Atlanta Hawks. That will be their final preseason home game on October 15th. You head to the Hornets, and then you wrap up the preseason on October 17th at the Heat before, again, as we said, opening up the season against the New Orleans Pelicans. Let's do a little call your shot for this stretch of schedule between tonight's game and the season opener. I want one bold prediction from each of you. Stephanie, this is your first crack at it. Michael's already looking a little shaky last week. Had Gigi Jackson as the preseason score leader. I'm keeping track here, Michael. Hopefully you'll do the same with me. Stephanie, call your shot.
And Jaren Jackson Jr. starting opening night. I think they will both make the effort to be there. I think they see the importance of it. They both will be with new contracts, right? Because we're expecting that Ja Morant will sign his extension, rather. So I expect they both will be there. That's my prediction.
That would be good news to the ears of Grizzlies fans, obviously, should it happen. Michael Wallace, your bold prediction. Call your shot.
Well, since you already pointed out I'm 0 for 1 so far, I'm off to a shaky start with the GG prediction.
We got more time.
Hey, listen, the Grizzlies will make a roster move of some variety to bring in a veteran big before the season opener. And that's just my bold prediction because I think they're going to need to, out of necessity.
So you're not PJ Hall, those guys, Omax, they need more. That's where I'm kind of with you. I just want to make sure we're on the same page here with what we saw against Detroit.
I'm just saying, I love those guys. They're young. They're going to be developing guys. They're going to be, potential back into the rotation guys. But tell me the last time you saw either one of them have an impact on the NBA roster at an NBA game.
And as you said, you got to win now.
You got to win now.
Ja Morant,
and to Stephanie's point, too, you just signing both of these guys to $200+ million contracts. You ain't developing anybody's team. You got to go get it now with these guys under this kind of deal.
Jarvis, you got a bold one for us? Call your shot.
You got to get that bucket out there because the jumper is wet. It's going through and it's wet. Yes, sir. I'm saying the Grizzlies may go 0 for the preseason, but win game 1 against the Pelicans because Coach Iisalo has said he's going to play a lot of different lineups during the preseason. There's going to be a lot of different rotations. We may see Gigi start a game. He didn't get a whole lot of minutes in the game 1. He may get a lot of minutes tonight. Cedric Howard may start a game. You're going to see Javon Small is back, so he's going to get some run in that backup point guard. He may even start at point guard one of these games. I really like him, man. He's a stout young dude, kind of like Michael Wallace was when he was at Graham, playing a point down there for the Tigers. But I think that there's going to be so much moving around, and you don't have your stars anyway right now. He's going to just move around and see who's doing what, but they will be there. The stars will all align on opening night with a W.
And here's the deal, right? Just because Jay Smooth is Jay Smooth, that doesn't mean we can't put him on the spot for a bold prediction. So now we swing the pendulum to you, Jason Smith. What is your one bold prediction and why?
I got one for you. We've been talking about contract extensions as it relates to Ja Morant. Here's one for you because you're high on the Hawks. Trae Young ain't getting an extension, and he's going to be the next superstar traded, a la Luka Doncic, because once the Hawks plan fails this season, they will know that it's time to move on from Trae Young. What do you think about him? Am I right, Michael Wallace? What do you think about that call your shot?
That's a great one. Because
I'm talking to the wrong man because you think the Hawks are going to be top 4, top 5-ish, right?
I think this is going to be their year to break through, but I do know there's some unrest. There's not a complete on board with Trae Young with that ownership and that group there. But he can play his way into their better graces this season, and I think they surrounded him in order to insulate any of these other kind of issues. And all they have to do is focus on ball. They got everything they need. This is going to be a season. I disagree with you, but I see where you're going with it. I understand why.
I said I was going to be bold. You put me on the spot. Stephanie, what do you think? Trae Young, Atlanta, is that going to work out? Will he eventually get the contract extension?
Oof, I don't know, because there is some trepidation there with Trae.
Okay.
I'll say that. I think that he has great numbers. He always has great stats, to back up his all-star candidacy or whatever you may be wanting for him in terms of accolades. He'll get double-digit points and assists every single night, but the wins are not there. So if they have a great year, like if Michael is right and he thinks they're going to be top 4, then maybe not. But if they are below 6, like they're a play-in team, I think he might be gone.
And something is wrong. Something would have gone wrong by then. But to your point, is he even going to be around long enough for them to finish 6?
Right.
Because if it's not trending well, that could be done at the trade deadline. But however, I can't discount Trae's impact because he was the main guy that got them to the Eastern Conference Finals just a couple of years ago.
He's been holding on to it, Michael. It's been a couple of first-round exits since then, right? Please, Stephanie.
But let's not forget who the coach was when they made that run. They were actually playing defense. Like, Trae is a tremendous player, and I love watching him play. He's great to work with. I'm not at all bashing Trae Young. I'm just saying the facts are the facts, and that coach is gone. And since then, they really haven't done much.
Also, I think because, the Indiana's not going to be the same and Boston's not going to be the same. Somebody's got to move up, right? If they move down, somebody's moving up, and that could be Atlanta.
He's had the one big run to the Eastern Conference Finals, but I still question whether Trae Young makes the players around him better. I know Ja Morant does.
Yes.
But it'll be up to the Atlanta Hawks to decide. When we come back, We'll dive into Michael Wallace's top 10 NBA wing rankings. We'll also do some fill in the blank and get our panel's way too early prediction on the NBA Finals. All that and more when we get back. This is Grizz Beat on Grind City Media.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Did you see the end of Ace's Storm? Let me play it out for you. Storm get the ball back, and it's Gabby Williams, and oh God, you'll never know. We'll never know. A hell of a way to say you lost. Lights are out, take the ball, go home, or don't take the ball because your season is over.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Jaren Jackson has a message for y'all. Jaren, say it now.
What?
It's the best show in the world.
Yeah, Trip. When I showed up at the event last night, he goes, "You got the biggest show in the world." And I said, "No, I really don't." And he goes, "To me, you do. I see you every day." I asked him why he doesn't just walk up here, and he's like, "Because I don't want you to be able to prepare." I was like, all right.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizz Nation, turn up at FedEx Forum as the Grizzlies tip off their 25th season in Memphis with a 3-game homestand. To celebrate, fans can take advantage of tickets as low as $25 for the first 3 games of the season against the Pelicans, the Heat, and the Pacers, but you'll want to hustle as inventory is limited. Visit Grizzlies.com/tickets today before this anniversary deal runs out. Again, that's Grizzlies.com/tickets. We roll on now on Grizz Beat to Michael Wallace's top 10 NBA wing rankings. Each week, Michael's going to give us a top 10 list. We'll have a chance to pick through it, critique it, maybe beat him up a little bit. This week, it's wings, as we said. Michael, I turn it over to you and your list.
Hey, bring it on. Bring it on. These are my top 10 NBA wings going into the season. Last week, we looked at the guards, the lead guards. This week, we're looking at the wings, and it starts number one, my number one ranked wing, Giannis Antetokounmpo. You see the list right there. My guy LeBron James, number 2, still at age 40 plus as number 2 on the wings list. Jaylen Brown is my favorite player in the NBA, non-Grizzly. So, I mean, this is a guy that I think can do a lot of different things on both ends of the floor. Paolo Banchero, number 4, he's rising up the ranks quickly. Kevin Durant still has it. Jalen Williams came on strong last year for the champion Oklahoma City Thunder. Jimmy Butler, you can't count out playoff Jimmy when he's there. Pascal Siakam showed that he's a player, and he helped lead that Indiana Pacers team to the finals. Kawhi Leonard, don't count him out just yet. When he's ready, he's still All-NBA Kawhi. And Scotty Barnes, that is one of the best young players that we have in this league, and he doesn't get a lot of credit for it being in Toronto, but watch out, he's going to have a breakout year this year again.
All right, this one, I love your list, especially the top of it. I can't mess with it too much. Kawhi Leonard hanging on, I guess, would be the one problem I've got with it, Michael. I would go, he's too old, he's too brittle, and he may have been illegally paid. So I'm dropping him off. I'm dropping him off the top 10.
Come on now.
Come on. Hey, come on. Hold on.
Brother trying to get some money.
Jarvis, you're going to get your turn. You're going to get your turn.
Right.
Let me tell you this, though. When Kawhi is there.
When he's there.
And he was there in the playoffs last year. That team lost in 7. They could have gone to the Western Conference Finals.
It was hard, and that was bad in Game 7. I'll give you that.
And this year, if he's going to be healthy, and it's a big if, but he usually can get there for the playoffs. If they can keep him upright for the playoffs, this dude is still a lockdown defender, and he can get you a bucket at any point in the game from anywhere on the floor. So, I mean, look, I see.
I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. You still got him on the list.
You called it. You said he cheated. He's old, and what else? What was the third thing?
Old, brittle, and illegally paid. That's the way I'm putting it. That's why I'm dropping
So
him
get
off
him out of here, right? Get him out of here.
That's where I'm at. What about you, Jarvis?
Well, as much as I love you, Michael, brother, I think that Pascal Siakam is way too low. I think that what he has done, I think he should be number 3 on the list, in my opinion, just because from where he come from, he was not drafted. He was a guy that came out of the G League to get up into the NBA, worked his way up. He's been on a couple of teams. He's a veteran now, and we've seen that when he's got to score, when he's got to defend, he's done that, and he's helped lead a Pacers team. They went all the way to the finals, and had a chance to win it. If Halliburton hadn't gone down, maybe they would have won it. Who knows? But I just like the way that his grit and his determination. He would be a perfect Grizzly in my estimation. The fact that he works hard and he gets buckets, he plays deep, he does anything and everything, dirty work on the floor, whatever you need, he does it. I think he should be up much higher.
Okay, so if you're going to move him up, who moves that?
I'm moving Paolo down a couple. I'm moving Paolo down. I'm moving Kevin Durant down. I like Jalen Williams where he is. Jimmy Butler is about right, but I think he should be. I think Pascal should be 3rd on that list.
You're moving.
No, not ahead of. I think he should be 4th on that list. I'm sorry. I think he should be just right there with Jaylen Brown, because Jaylen Brown has had opportunities to do it, but he hasn't really done it yet on a great team with a lot of other stars around it.
Who?
I think
Jaylen Brown won a title with the Celtics. It was Finals MVP.
What I mean is they didn't. They could have won 3, or they could have won 3 titles, right? Am I wrong? Could they have won 3 titles? And then there was always something happened with Jaylen Brown at the end of a couple of games that didn't really work out for them. And his first chance to get them there with the Pacers, Pascal Siakam was on point and getting the job done. It's Jaylen Brown has been in the spotlight longer. He's had a chance to do it longer with better surroundings. Pascal Siakam has not had anybody around him for a long time. Now he does, and now we're seeing what he can do. And he's younger, and I think he should be up.
Pascal Siakam was on a team in Toronto that went to the NBA Finals.
Yeah. Well, they
Jarvis, you got to do your research, man, before you come at M-Dub, yo. Tell him, Jason, he got to do his research.
He has put a ton into these lists,
You
Jarvis.
put your list out. I'm telling you what I think. I think that he was with Toronto. They played well. They won. He was he helped get Indiana to the finals. They almost won it. They took Oklahoma City, who everybody thought was unbeatable, to 7 games.
Yes. We're talking almost.
Yeah,
Kevin Durant got a championship.
You're talking about top 10 wings now. I think he's going to be the one that's going to lead them as they go forward.
What I heard was a bunch of Jaylen Brown slander. That's what I heard. Stephanie, you got any problems with Michael's list? Where are you poking holes if there are holes?
Oh, I have one major problem. It's Kawhi Leonard. I can't do it. I mean, I agree with you and all your sentiments, but I mean, there's just so many things, Michael. The first thing is you are absolutely right. When he is there, he is all NBA. No one is disputing that Kawhi Leonard's skill set is off the charts, right? Offensively and defensively. Love him. Would love to have him on my roster on the floor. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't play enough. He just doesn't play games. And now we're facing a situation where he actually might not be allowed to play games if he gets suspended by the league after this investigation is over. So he is definitely off the list for me.
Well, if you're going to punish Kawhi Leonard, make him play games, right? Make him play games. If he gets suspended, that's going to go into the Clippers' favor because you preserve him for the second half of the season. And then he's going to prove all of y'all wrong that he deserves to be on that list. He's at number 9. He's still fading.
Funny.
He's one of the only players in the league. There's only 4 players in the league that have won championships with 2 different teams who's still playing. He's one of those 4. LeBron is another one. And this is one of those guys, man, that I'm not – if I'm going against him and it's game 7 – in a playoff series, I don't want to face him defensively, and I don't want the ball in his hand offensively.
Yep.
So he deserves to be on that list. But thank you guys. All right, y'all came at me, but my list is the list.
And you see, he gets really defensive if you mess with him. All right, that's what we've learned in 2 weeks. So make sure you come back next week when we do the top 10 centers in the league.
Yes.
And Michael's going to have this for us every week, a top 10 something. Very much looking forward to that. Let's continue our trip around the league with some fill in the blank. I think this will be a great way to do it. I'll make a statement, and our panel will fill in the blank. It's as simple as that. Let's start here. The most surprising team in the NBA this season will be, Stephanie, you're up first.
The Spurs. I think we should all be getting very excited about the product we're about to see on the floor because Wemby is back. They had 2 tremendous draft picks. Let's not forget that De'Aaron Fox is on that roster, and he and Wemby really never got to show us what they can do. I'm very excited. And of course, their new head coach, I say new because he didn't get to start the season last year. So you all know how important that is to be able to start with training camp with your system, your terminology, your culture setting. I think the Spurs are going to be amazing this season.
I do too. I wonder if it's going to be a surprise at this point because I'm kind of with you, Stephanie. That I mean, you look at everything they've added, and I'm certainly expecting a rise. Michael, most surprising team in the NBA will be?
I think I've already alluded to the Atlanta Hawks. I think they put everything together around Trae Young to sort of insulate themselves from his erratic play from time to time and behavior. I think the Hawks are going to be the most surprising team in the league.
How about you, Jarvis? Most surprising team?
If you ask me, this is my opinion. I think the Portland Trail Blazers. The Blazers have come on strong here at the end of last season. They're very young. They got some pieces, and they play defense. I think that they have the chance to make a bigger move. I think the Spurs. Everybody's expecting the Spurs to be good. So I'm thinking the Blazers.
Okay, let's flip it. The most disappointing team in the NBA will be Stephanie.
I'm going with the Boston Celtics. I know that people think because they wear the green and they have the lore that they're going to be good this year. I don't know. I can't figure it out because they let go too many key pieces, as I've said earlier in the show. And then with Jason Tatum, because we don't even have a timeline yet for his return, I can't have any sort of expectations for the Celtics.
Michael, most disappointing.
Most disappointing will be the Houston Rockets. And I say that, I hate to say that, but Kevin Durant has been moving around, and every time he's gone from the Brooklyn Nets to the Phoenix Suns, they've been disappointing. They hadn't met expectations. I think that's going to be the case with Fred VanVleet being out.
Jarvis, who's most disappointing?
Even though they have the best player basically or one of the best players in the world on their team, I'm going to say the Milwaukee Bucks because they have been trending down lately, and they haven't really done anything to boost their lineup around the Greek Freak.
Okay, and finally, my way too early prediction for the NBA Finals is, Stephanie, your picks.
Thunder and Knicks. I think OKC, yes, everyone can pencil them in. No one would be surprised. But I do think this is the year for the Knicks. I think they have a new coach in Mike Brown who I trust. Look at his background. The great Bernie Bickerstaff got him in the league when he was a young pup as his assistant coach. He worked for Coach Popovich. He worked for Rick Carlisle. He worked for Steve Kerr. He's won championships as an assistant coach. This is his year. I think he's going to take the Knicks all the way.
Michael?
I'm going to go Nuggets Cavaliers. I think the Nuggets are the most stable team. They got it on offense. They got it defensively, and Jokic is coming for it again. And I think the Cavaliers are going to finally break through and stay healthy and get through the playoffs.
How about you, Jarvis?
I almost said that, but I'm going to go with OKC and the Cavs. I like the Cavs because they were injured at the end of the season. They couldn't really get it done because their stars were out. OKC is just OKC. I almost with the Nuggets because of Jokic and company, but I'm going to say OKC and Cleveland.
We will wrap up this week's episode of Grizz Beat with a little pick and roll. It's where you pick one of 2 options and explain why you're going to roll with it. This week's question is the WNBA season wraps up. I think we've got Game 3 of the finals tonight. Who's under more pressure as we look ahead to bounce back next season? Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese? Stephanie, we'll start with you.
Angel Reese, definitely. Caitlin Clark has already proven who she is. We all know what she's capable of. But Angel Reese's team has not had any sort of success. She's got to step up and make sure that she's making her teammates better, that she's leading the way, and that she can put her money where her mouth is on the basketball court.
Jarvis.
Okay, I'm going to go with my girl from
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark. I'm going to say that because I love Caitlin Clark. I love what she does. I love how she plays. But I do believe that they almost made the title. They almost made the championship round without her. She missed most of the season.
Right.
So everybody's going to be asking her, how come you can't? How come they did that? And you weren't even there. So not because she can't play, but because what will they do when she comes back?
Michael, settle this for us.
I flip-flopped. I apologize, Stephanie Reddy. In our mock show, I went with you and Angel Reese. This time I'm going with Caitlin Clark because I said she's going to have to really find out how to sort of decrease her game or expand her game and do what her team needs now to get them to that next step. And they're one step away from the finals. Can she get in and make the move to get them there? That's going to be a lot of pressure.
Now she's the final piece, and there's a pressure on her, it feels like, to be the best player in the league. Well, we'll obviously keep you tuned and be locked in next season and see what happens there. That's our show for this week. Thank you to our panelists. I know it goes so fast, doesn't it?
Wow.
It does. Thank you to our panelists, Jarbo, Stephanie, you were fantastic, and of course to the great Michael Wallace. Thanks as well to CJ Hurt and our wonderful team here at Grind City Media for all their hard work. Make sure to rejoin us next week for Grizz Beat at 3 o'clock on Wednesday for our Grizz Beat team. I'm Jason Smith. Keep grinding.